Hey, folks, how's everybody doing? Hope you had a good weekend. Hope it was a little bit better than mine. I need to change the backdrop here. I'm gonna give my Celtics some love. Yeah, Celtics moving on to the finals. I was just watching the hockey game tonight too. Boy, that was a weird one. I was going back and forth between a movie and the hockey game, and it was Edmonton was outshot 35-10, and they won 2-1. 10 shots on net. They got 2 goals. And Dallas loses. That's like a Bruins game where the Bruins would pile 35 shots. No, give up. No, they put 35 shots on and just wouldn't score. That's how the Bruins would lose. Anyway, coming on tonight real quick, just to kind of have a little late night chat here on a Sunday. Hopefully, everybody played something this weekend, had some fun. I didn't play anything, and that's what I'm coming on here to talk about. I'm just aggravated. My some of my health problems have come back. Some of my own, volition, and some are not. Some just bad luck, and some I've caused myself. But it's just been a tough weekend. I've just been aggravated, and I didn't play anything. And so I wanted to ask you guys that throw out that question. Have you ever been just too aggravated to play? And I know this is supposed to calm us down. And this let me just adjust my camera a little bit. I know this is supposed to be fun and calm us down and the whole bit, but boy, let me tell you, when you're not in the mood to play, sorry about the camera here, just to get a little bit here. I just wasn't in the mood to play. As Barbara stops by, hi Barbara, and Barbara, sorry about your Rangers. I really wanted the Rangers and the Oilers in the finals, so now I got to root for the Oilers over the Panthers. But anyway, I hadn't played anything today. I just was really aggravated with some of the things going on. It's been hot too. So, I couldn't even walk the dog today. It was too hot. It was too hot for his feet. So I went for a walk. It was just too hot. I went outside for a few minutes. Everything was just too hot today. It wasn't even that bad. It was only, 80s or something like that. But I was really just aggravated with the heat, aggravated with what's going on with my health right now. And it's um just driving me nuts. And so that's gonna be the topic tonight. If you get aggravated, do you play when you're aggravated? Because I know it's supposed to calm us down and relax us, but sometimes it's hot and you're not having a good day, and you just, yeah, I was just afraid if I come downstairs and tried to play something that something wouldn't go right. The game wouldn't go right, the dice wouldn't go right. I just would get, I was already on edge. It was a tinderbox, and I didn't want to come down here and try to play something, even though it's cooler down here and I got fans on and stuff. I just was like, just don't want to do it. So I ended up watching a couple of movies, and I'll tell you about them in a second. But I want to know how everybody else is doing here. Jeff comes by. Yeah, I'm hoping it gets better too. Yeah. Jeff comes by too, and Barbara says next year for the Rangers. Yeah, I'm hoping Bruins and the Rangers next year will both play better. And I hope it's a better day too. It's just so it started kind of last night. We went over a friend's house for a birthday party, and we just kind of hung around outside and had a hamburger. Nothing crazy, and it just exhausted me. And I was talking to Ron about that this morning. It's like, man, I'm so tired from just sitting outside. We weren't even in the sun. We were just sitting outside, and I was just tired. So I didn't play anything last night. I don't even think I come on last night. I think I was in bed. I was actually listening. Actually, I was in bed listening to the Rangers game on the satellite radio. So I had my phone with me, and I listened to them lose. I was like, oh, bummer they lost. And I get up today. It's okay. I got to do a couple things, and then I'll play. And no, I ended up picking up that new Godzilla movie. Gee, I'm a Godzilla fan, right? And the new Godzilla -1 come out, and so I grabbed that and I watched that, and that was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was as awesome as everybody says it was, but I thought it was good. So I ended up started watching it last night, and then I finished it this morning. And I enjoyed it. I gotta say, I enjoyed it. And then I had my chance to play, but after I went outside and just got hot, and I was just completely aggravated with some personal things going on. I just no, I'm gonna watch another movie. So I sat down tonight and I watched uh James Bond Spectre. I like the action movies sometimes, and the James Bond when they just kind of do certain things. This one wasn't as good because he didn't have all the gadgets. Sometimes he has the gadgets that shoot things and he repels up, and the gadgets are what make James Bond fun. And this didn't do that in this movie here. And I don't know how old Spectre is, but it had Daniel Craig. I still enjoyed it. It was a 2-hour movie, so I was watching that, and then as that movie's ending, the Oilers game was coming down, so I'm like pinging back and forth between the Oilers game and James Bond. It was so I just watched movies this weekend. I watched the new Godzilla and I watched Spectre, and I didn't play a dang thing, and I wanted to. I did. In fact, Action PC's having another sale, and I wanted to grab a couple of things, and I didn't, and I just don't know. Brian comes by. Can't say I feel the same. I played 2 rounds of History Maker Golf with Jack Nicklaus. I know that is such a fun game, the History Maker Golf. I almost pulled that out the other day, but I hadn't played it in such a long time. I'd have to relearn that. And you have to just go through the book and figure it out. I'd like to play, like, take 3 guys and go 18 holes. That's what I like to do. That's a lot of fun. But I just haven't played it in a long time. And Barbara says, no, I do not play any games if I'm aggravated. I just can't get into it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you got to be like in the mood to play. You can't just come downstairs and play for the sake of playing, because then you're aggravated and you're even more aggravated. So you got to be, I'm not saying you got to be perfectly calm, because no one's life is perfectly calm, but just when you just hot and aggravated, just been a yucky day, it's not the time. In fact, I shouldn't be drinking my diet root beer here, my zero sugar root beer, but I'm having a zero sugar root beer tonight just because I've been eating bad all day, and because I just, you ever get so mad you just don't care, and it just like, you have a bowl of cereal. It's like, I shouldn't be having the cereal. That's bad stuff to have, and you have it anyway. It's like, I don't care. And Banking on Money says, go Edmonton. Yeah, I'm pulling for Edmonton too. It's about time McDavid gets something. It is. And Brian says, hope things get better quickly for me. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this week goes. It kind of stinks right now. I'm in a bad mood. That movie, though, was fun. That James Bond movie was fun. And Edmonton won, so I was kind of happy with that. And you're here for me to vent, David? See, good. So I'm going to try to vent a little bit. And you've been there. Personally, just take a night off and regroup. And the thing is, though, this hobby, what's great about this hobby, you get away from the problems. The hobbies, you come down here and you're playing your favorite guys and your favorite teams, and you're getting away from that, and you're just going back to a better time in your mind, but sometimes it just, real life weighs in, and it just kind of hits you hard, and you're just like, nah, I don't know if I want to go to my happy place tonight. I'm just not in the mood for that. And then like I said, I was just watching some movies tonight. I saw a lot of people. I was watching Al Red Sox fan play as Kansas City Chiefs from '78, and there's a few other people doing some unboxings and things like that. And there's a lot of people on earlier tonight, so I was flicking around on YouTube having some fun. I just couldn't bring myself to the table tonight. I just couldn't do it. I did play some payoff pitch Friday night, I think, just kind of offline, and I'm slowly working myself back into the love hate. I'm back into the love part of payoff pitch again. Double A comes by. JAA. I totally feel that. I can't play anything when I'm annoyed. Annoyed's a good word. I'm very annoyed right now. And it just makes the game start to make me annoyed. I usually watch YouTube or movie. Yeah, the Rangers losing sucks. Yeah, it does. Where did I get Godzilla -1? It's everywhere right now. It's on Amazon, but I picked it up on Vudu, which is now Fandango at home. I've always liked Vudu, VUDU. So I have a lot of movies on Vudu, and I have the app on the TV and my phone and iPad, so I can watch movies anytime. I don't know why. I just kind of like that service. I don't want to give all my money to Amazon, so I like to use Vudu. But I heard Netflix might have it too. I don't have Netflix anymore, but I heard Netflix might have it. Of course, as soon as I cancel Netflix, I get Godzilla, right? But that's all right. Now I own it and I can play it anytime. The effects were good. Godzilla was a bad guy. I mean, just for no reason, just being a bad dude. So it was very different than some of the other ones where he was saving the earth. He was certainly not saving the earth. But it was a good story. I'll watch it again. I did hear Netflix had the English dub version, but I haven't heard of an English dub version. So maybe Netflix has an exclusive. I don't know. I'll have to tune in and find out. Maybe I'll find out for sure. Get some confirmation, then I'll get Netflix for a month and watch it with the English dub. I like the English dub. They're getting better than they were back in the day. but it's just hard to read the subtitles and follow the movie because you're doing one of these. And JAA says, I'll work on games he's designing. Okay, that's good. Sometimes, Mike, sometimes you have creativity when you're aggravated. Sometimes you don't. Because the problem is even when you're playing a game, you're trying to do something, and the littlest thing just sets you off. Like, oh, where's this chart? Where's this? You know what I mean? I get upset real fast sometimes when I'm hot and aggravated. Sweetest Jeff says, I'm playing Appa baseball for I head off to bed. Yep, I like that. I got all my Appas over here. I need to pull out my 78 season, get back to that. I'm trying to play every single 78 Red Sox game in Appa. I think I'm 10 or 12 or 13 games in. I've been at that one for a while, and every now and then I'll pull it out and play a couple games back to back. I'm using Digital Diamond to keep that going, and so I enjoy the Apple with that. I really do. And Banging on Money says, "Oh, nice! I just purchased Shootout Hockey. Really enjoying it. Shootout Hockey is so good. I got it right here, actually. I got my where is it? Shootout Hockey is always right here for me. Right here. So what I have, anytime I want to pull it out, so I got my my shots on goal. That's my shots on goal chart that I like to use. And what else do I got? Oh yeah, then you need your scoring chance tables here. That's how you set how many what the scoring ranges are. I always have them right here. My Shootout Hockey is always right here to my left. So anytime I pull it out, I have my shot on goal charts and my ranges for dice and fast action cards, so I can get right at them. So I can just play a game of Shootout real fast. And back over here somewhere, I have all the teams and all the seasons. And sometimes I'll pull out the PC helper, which is fun because it shows the cards and has all the teams on there. You got to do some work to set it up, but once it's set up, you can just play anybody that you put in, and it's fun. I think the other day I actually played it on the table of cards and dice, and that was real fun. I forget what season I played, but I played a couple of games, and Shootout Hockey is fun. It's fast, it's fun, and it feels like a full game. It really does. And let's see what else we got going on here. And Jeff Edwards says, Jeffrey Edwards, I wasn't aggravated, but sometimes playing a game is not the answer. No, that's a good point too. It's not the answer to get rid of your aggravation. Just finished watching Billy the Kid vs. Dracula. No thinking needed. Yeah, that's how the James Bond was, and even the Godzilla. You just kind of watch it, and you have to read the subtitles and stuff. But it was such a sad movie. Just like Tokyo was just ruined the entire time. What are you gonna do? But yeah, sometimes it's right. It's not the answer. That's a great way. Great way to put it. Sometimes coming down here and trying, because that's the other thing. I could come down here and just play Action PC or Strata or whatever, right here on the computer, and just kind of click with the mouse and not set anything up. But still sometimes the game just won't go your way. It's just something aggravates you, and just like I just have to know yourself. And when I get aggravated, especially when it's hot out, I tend to be short, and I know I would probably quit whatever I was playing, even if it was going well, because I get aggravated. I'm just short with things, and I just yourself, and you say, self, don't do this because you're just going to get aggravated even more, so you don't. But Billy the Kid Dracula, that's one of those ones you just kind of watch and just whatever you're going to do. And you do have to have that motivation to play. You're right, no matter what it was. You can't just sit down, in front of a computer or console or cards and dice, whatever, and play if you don't have that motivation. It's just sometimes just things aren't going well, for you, and you're just like, I just don't want to do it. I don't. So just that's what TV comes in great. Or I'll just lay in bed and listen to the radio, and just that's what I'm gonna do when I'm done here. It's gonna lay in bed, listen to the radio, and just it stinks. I haven't played anything all weekend. I've had the weekend to do it, and it's just been like I said. When it gets hot and the house gets hot, it's just we put on the AC and you cool down a little bit, but it's still kind of hot, and so I just haven't been feeling that good. I'm probably coming down with something. And Jeff says, when I'm not feeling great, I don't want to do anything. I'll crawl into bed and just flush it in on the toilet. Tomorrow will be better. Yeah, that's kind of what I do sometimes too. I know the wife goes to bed real early a lot, especially when she was working, and I do that once in a while too. It's like I'm gonna lay in bed. I put YouTube on, and I get a whole bunch of things in my watch later, and they're all different things, and I watch those. Or somebody might be on playing a game, or I'll flick through Discord or something like that. But I just kind of lay in bed, just kind of veg out. not really watch TV per se, but I'll listen to YouTube, or listen to, like I said, when there's a hockey game on, or even a baseball game. Sometimes I'll put a baseball game on, just listen late at night, just kind of radio stuff. And Jeff was playing some APA football, Chiefs and Steelers. You get done after midnight, but it was fun. Yeah, it is. I like that. That's I got my 78 season sitting right here. And I need to do a video on the football card. Somebody was asking me about the punt receiving, punt receivers, kick receivers, kickoffs, and punters, and some of the symbols. And they were getting confused. So I'll try to do a video on that to help him with that, because it is, when I got that, I was totally confused. I mean, it only took me a little bit to get used to what was what, but yeah, it can get confusing sometimes. Looking at the cards, who's my punter, who's not, and the whole bit. But if you just go to Pro Football Reference and you go to the game you want to play, it lists everybody that played. It shows who kicked off. It shows who punted. It shows who caught the ball. It shows who was the quarterback. So you don't really even need the symbols at that point. You just kind of, okay, here's my kicker. And there's a couple times I've had like backup kickers, or the third kicker, or the second punter in the game. And so I didn't even use the real punter because he just didn't play. So that's another way around that too. So sometimes you don't even need to know the symbols. And then you just look at the backs, who ran the ball, who caught the ball. It's all right there in Football Reference. So it's kind of neat. And Billy the Kid vs. Dracula. I missed that one too. Oh, it was on YouTube. Interesting. So I went back and watched, probably about 6 months ago, I went back onto Amazon, trying to find something to watch on Amazon. I was watching, The Wild Wild West. And I started watching it from season 1, like episode 1, and just kind of how they introduced the characters and the whole bit. And boy, they didn't mature too well. Some, like the Three Stooges, you can still watch them and they're awesome. They're timeless. They're just so funny and great. But the Wild Wild West, it didn't kind of work out. You know what it is with some of those old shows, especially the black and white shows? Every scene is dragged out. Whereas today they get right to the point kind of quick, because we're in a fast society. So they don't have 10 to 15 minutes to start telling the story. They need to get to it right away. And back then there was one scene where the bad guy was playing the piano. This is the Wild Wild West. And it went on for 3 or 4 minutes. He played the whole song. And you just sitting there like, oh my gosh. This should have been like a 30 to 45 second little thing where he played the piano and he sang a little bit. And then they said, all right, enough of that. And then, pointed the Wild West gun at him, whatever it was. But he did the whole song. And you'd never see that today. You'd never see them do an entire song like that. It was just weird. It doesn't really hold up anymore. I still liked it when they would, the scene would freeze and then it would go up in the corner. And then when the next break came, that picture was there, but the next one froze and went next to it. I used to like that. That was my favorite part of the Wild Wild West. I really did. Alan says it depends on the aggravation level. Okay, so now we're going to get into if it's a 5, it can distract and help. If it's a 9 or 10, forget it, regroup the next day. Yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. In fact, I'm so aggravated, I got like a little bit of a headache going on too. So I definitely need to go lay down. Don't know what's going on here. Played hockey yesterday, so that was fun. But since then, I just been really tired. I haven't played in months. But I did play, and it went well, I thought. We'll see. But regroup. That's a good thing. If you're not feeling great, crawl into bed. Because today's over. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. Don't force any more on today. Let's just pack up today. There is an aggravation level too. And a lot of it was me is the heat. The summer, I don't like the summers. Being a hockey guy, I don't like the summers. I mean, the ice cold in the winter is a pain in the neck, but I do much better in the cold than I do in the heat. The heat is just like, you know how it is. If anybody here lives in a hot climate, you probably know what I'm talking about. We don't get a lot of heat here. When we do, it's miserable. It is. It's miserable. And that just raises the aggravation level in the whole bit. And, what are you going to do? The only thing I don't like about the cold is the wind. When that wind is whipping and you're trying to go from the car to the house and it just goes right through your bones. And that's when it really is bad. But I'd rather have a little cold than a little hot. And Jeff says, I've been watching a lot of Apple hockey videos. My next Apple game, they have a lot of older seasons. They do. This is all my Apple hockey up here. They have just about anything you'd want. In fact, that's why I jumped over to Apple hockey, and that's why I spent a lot of time with it because of the seasons. Because I started off with Strat, Shootout, and they have a lot of good seasons. But I don't have everything. And then I went over to Strat, and Strat had nothing. I bought everything Strat had in stock, and then I bought a couple things off the black market that, were very expensive. And I started to amass some seasons in Strat hockey, but they still didn't have everything I wanted to. And I saw Appa. It's like, man, everything's in stock with Appa. What's up with that? And so I started to play Appa, and it was okay. And I said, I need to make this game work because they have all the seasons. If I can really get into Appa, they'll have everything, ready for me. And so they did. So I really get into Appa hockey, took my time with it, asked a lot of questions, figured some things out, got a lot of help with homebrews and stuff that I put into the game. And now that game, it flies for me. I really like the Apple hockey and all the seasons I got. It's just fantastic. The only thing is they don't card everybody though. That's when you got to go to Hockey Bones. If you really want to play some obscure guys, you got to make sure Hockey Bones has the season, and then you can get everybody. And there's been a few seasons of Hockey Bones I bought specifically for that. But for the most part, App is a fun time for me. I'll probably never play a full season. So for me, it's kind of playoffs and what ifs and the whole bit. Most of the hockey is just me pulling on a couple teams and just having a fun time. The baseball, I tend to get a little bit more involved with, and now the football too. The hockey, probably, because there's so many teams and so many things, and they don't have everybody carded, that I can't really do a big replay with Apple hockey. So I'll play some games and have some fun with it and play a series or something, or a Stanley Cup or whatever. So I've enjoyed that very much. And so the Apple hockey is really great. James Bond movies are still good, but they're way more serious now, maybe too serious. Not as much fun as the older movies, Yeah, I just it was okay. I mean, the gadgets are great. When he's got the stuff in the car, and then he does this and that, and he had a couple of things. The exploding watch and the whatever. I think that was the big thing. But I mean, it was always fun. When he had like the glasses that did stuff. It's just. I love that stuff. When he goes, oh, here's a pen that'll do this, and here's a ring that'll do this, and just here's a jacket that'll, it's just, and he used them all. He would always use them, and it's just kind of fun. Did a razor attack my face? Yes. My everything down here was completely red, and it still is a little bit. Now I don't know why, and I thought it was just getting aggravated from the beard I was growing there. So I ended up I had to shave it off just because it was Sharon's like, your face is all red. I'm like, yeah, something's aggravating. So I just shaved it all off, and just, hopefully the aggravation will go away. I liked it. It wasn't coming in good though. As I get older, just I don't have much hair anymore, so that's not even coming in. So I get rid of it, And no, I won't put some aloe on you. I know you were out in the sun all day. You were saying sometimes I won't be in the mood to game and walk away for a week or two. Says Banking on Money. Like getting a recharge. Also go through cycles of the games I want to play. All the time. I will every fall I go through a gaming drought, and we talk about it here on the show. And sometimes the drought is a week, sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's 2 months. Sometimes I'll go a couple of months and I just can't bring myself to play anything, and I'll just go off and do something else. And I can't explain it. I just can't get on the table. Then when I finally do and I have that breakthrough, it's like, oh man, I missed it so much. Now I play a whole bunch of stuff. But I have the droughts, and I like right now I'm in a basketball phase. Maybe it's because the Celtics have moved on and the Bruins choked again. But I'm kind of interested in basketball, so I've been playing the Play of the Game by Downey, the Hoops PC. I've been looking into a couple other basketball games, either trying it out or maybe pick one up on a sale at some point. But I've been into basketball right now, so that's kind of what I've been doing. So the hockey kind of took a back seat, just kind of did. So the Apple football kind of took me over for a while. Then my 79 baseball season, I'm enjoying that. And now I'm into some basketball. So I go through the phases of droughts. And I go through the phases of different games. And that's what makes it fun. That's why we have so many games. Danny comes by. Danny, I pop in on your stuff every now and then too, Danny. I don't chat much in the chat room, but I'll be watching your stuff. And he says, I don't play the games like you do. I don't understand how to, but recently I found 78 game called Pay Dirt from Sports Illustrated. Am I familiar with it? Yeah, I am familiar with it a little bit. I've never played it, but I've heard of the people that have played the Pay Dirt. That's supposed to be a pretty good game, and it was a good game back in the day. I think it's a Sports Illustrated game, Danny, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you said that from Sports Illustrated. I think they had baseball and football. I'm pretty sure they had both of those, and they probably had something else as well. I didn't. I don't think I played it. I think I might have played the baseball one time, but it was fine, and I got it to work. It just wasn't my thing. It was an older game, and it just kind of felt like an older game. And now the games just feel fresher, and I just like how the new games play. Noel says tomorrow's a new day. Start your day with Apple football game in your happy place. I know. I got a couple of doctor's appointments this week though, so there goes the fun out of this week. I need to get through this week, and then hopefully I'll have a better weekend next weekend and be able to play something here. But just I like when you get appointments and stuff, it just kind of messes your schedule up. It's like you gotta make sure you're there, and you gotta leave. You know how it is when you have different appointments and stuff. At least I've been getting to the gym a little bit more regularly and playing hockey again. So hopefully that'll make me feel a little bit better. You never know. But thanks for I should play some APA football. Noble, I should. Alan says, I agree about summer versus winter. You can always add another layer in the hat, but you can't remove your skin in the heat. Yeah, that's always the thing. You can always take off. You can always add another sweatshirt or put the heat on, but when it's too hot, there's only so much AC you can do. And then if you're sitting there in just a t-shirt and shorts, that's about it. And then you get in the car and you got to have I like to have the windows down in the car, but when it's too hot, you got to have the windows open, or sometimes you got to put on the AC, and it's like, I don't like that either. But yeah, I like it a little cooler. September, October are my favorite months by far. Keith is playing the NBA championship with SSG basketball. Celtics up 2-1. Is that the current season there, Keith? I think they did release the current season for that, right? I'm looking at his bank shot basketball. I have the SSG. I have a season or a couple of teams in that, and I tried playing it, and it was fun, and I got it to move. It's just moving all those 1 through 5 chips for offense and defense. Every time you bring somebody in was a pain in the neck. And I think that's why he got rid of it in bank shot. In bank shot, you can lay everybody on the table and not have to worry about substitutions. And I think that's where I want to go. Around the layout podcast. Let's go Oilers. Yes, I would agree with that. Let's go Oilers. Not that I'm a fan of, the teams that got 27 first round picks in a row, but I think they paid their dues. They went how many seasons without making the playoffs and then not winning a series. And, now they're McDavid, how many years has he been in the league now? 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. So let's get him to the finals. Let's see what he can do. I just don't like Florida. I don't know what it is. I just don't like Florida. And Joshua comes by tonight. Haven't caught me live in a while, but glad to be here tonight. Glad you're here, Joshua. We're just kind of chatting here tonight about do you play when you're aggravated? I just been aggravated like most of this week. Well, since late last night or this morning. Yesterday was an okay day. I had fun at the birthday party I went to. Just kind of hanging out with some dudes. That was fun. But today has just been hot and aggravating. It's just too hot to walk the dog, so I went out myself, and that was it was just too hot for that. And Sweetest Jeff says, remember seeing Pay Dirt and Street and Smith magazine back in the 80s? Yeah, definitely an older game. What I've had to the drum videos. Oh, you like those? The drums are now over here now because when we had the flood down here, I pulled up half the basement floor, and then we ended up even pulling up more when we finally did the rest of it. So everything got stuffed in a corner, and then we did the floor, fixed it all up, and I got a new layout here, and I put the drums in a different place, and it's just I just haven't sat down and played them, and it's probably been when did I have that flood? September, October. I think that's when I bought the drums. November, maybe. I just had a really busy winter, and I haven't plugged them in. And I'm going to be real terrible because I only played for a month or so, you know. And so then I stopped. So I'm going to be starting all over again, just trying to keep a beat. Um, so yeah, I need to do. That was fun. I enjoyed those. I enjoyed that when YouTube had music, songs, just generic songs without the drums. And so it would start off like the click track, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the guitar would come in and then the bass, and you added the drums to it. It was like, man, this is great. I think I recorded myself a couple times. Like, here's just a song, and I wrote the guy. It says, hey, I'm really loving your videos without the drums. It's really helped me learn the drums. He was, said thanks for that, and I showed him the video I did. And he was pretty cool about it. But that was fun. The drums are fun because you just kind of, you know. Just gotta beat some things. It was really fun. I know. Hashtag bring back the drums. I got it right next to my Randy Rhoads guitar. I have a Randy Rhoads guitar that I picked up, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and it's sitting right next to it with the amp. But I either need to play something or other. But again, now it's getting hot, and I don't want to play when it's too hot. So, but I will get back to that. And Keith said he is playing the current season with SSG basketball, and so are you playing Dallas? Are you playing the Celtics in Dallas? Is that what it is? Yeah, it is a new layout down here. I move some things around. When we put everything back, I get rid of a lot of things. Over here is kind of the same, but I did kind of open up. I moved where the TV was, and because I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore, so I just kind of threw it over here. If I had my way, I'd get rid of TV altogether and just kind of do YouTube. But we have someone else in the house that watches a lot of TV. So, but anyway, so I need to get back to my season ticket. I have my season ticket here too. This is my 86 season. And what I've been doing is I print out, I'm doing the Roger Clemens replay. So I'm not printing out every team with that. I'm just kind of printing out who he plays. And sometimes I get lucky. He plays a team that's already printed, so I don't got to print out another team. But if they play a team that's not printed up, print it out. The season ticket, oh my gosh, they print out so good. I just got to remember the settings. I think it's don't shrink to fit, just print the normal sheet and just cut it in thirds and in half, and they line up perfect. Clay did a great job of that. He really did. It is excuses. It is, but it's just I haven't been in the mood to play, and I enjoyed playing, but I was terrible. I was getting a little bit better, but I just couldn't. It's always been my foot, and I played in bands for years and years and years, and every now and then I'd ask the drummer to play the drums just for fun during practice, and I would get behind the drum, but I could never keep my foot and my hand were always together, and you need to separate them, and I could never do it. And now at my age, I probably never will. And Keith says yes, he's playing the current season, so it's going to be Dallas in the Celtics. Interesting to see how that goes. Over here, they're predicting Celtics in 6. That's what they're predicting out here in the Boston radio. At least that's what I heard from a couple of people. And is it Godzilla? Yes, it is, Todd. Yes, it is. I have like 10 Godzilla shirts. This is the Godzilla I don't like. This is like the goofy Godzilla. The first one was good. And then when it turned into color and you had Son of Godzilla, that's when he got weird. And then in the 90s, he got kind of good again. So there's all kinds of different Godzillas. I just watched the new one, Godzilla -1. That's what I was telling the people. I started it last night, finished it this morning. It was pretty good. Some people said it was awesome. It was one of the best ones we've seen in a while. I wouldn't go that far. I think the best Godzilla movie recently was the one that he was in Boston when he destroyed Fenway Park with Ghidorah and all those guys. I thought that was really good, and I thought the Godzilla Kong was pretty good too. The first one, and the second one was okay. The first one a few years ago was pretty good. Thanks for coming by, Danny. Good to talk to you. And did I see Godzilla Kong in the theater? Yes, I did. We went and we saw that one in the theater, and it was okay. The story with the girl was pretty good, but I think the first one I thought was better when him and Kong really went at it, and then they had that robot infused with Ghidorah's mind in there or something like that. I thought that was fantastic. I really did. Maybe I should have had the root beer and then decide to play something tonight because the root beer is kind of settling me down. Maybe it's the coolness of the root beer because that's in the fridge. Maybe it's kind of cooling me down, or maybe it's just getting cool here at night, or maybe it's this fan over here. But it's kind of bringing my blood pressure down a little bit. I hope so. But I did see that Godzilla Kong movie in the theater, and that's the first time we've been into the theater since I want to say Godzilla 2018 was the last time we went to the theater. We're not big movie people, but then again, she's she was working days, so we couldn't really go, and then weekends I worked, and then nights, I don't like to go out at night too much. But now that she's retired, that's the first thing we did. It was like, hey, let's go see this movie, And it was fun. We haven't been to the theater in a while. The only thing is about when you're older, though, how many times tonight when I was watching Godzilla or I was watching James Bond, I would pause and get up and get something to eat, go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? It's hard to sit for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes now and not eat or go to the bathroom and do something. I just can't do it anymore. So theaters, I wish they would have a break. Sometimes the long movies, they'd have a break so you could go do that stuff. But inevitably, I have to run to the bathroom, and it's a good 5-minute slog to go all the way down and out and down and around the corner into the bathroom. Come on, it's 5 minutes, and I miss 5 minutes of the movie that I paid for. So sometimes I just like to wait for it to come to the streaming, and I'll buy it. Noble says, I just purchased season ticket. It takes a lot for me to pull the trigger on a new game. I love my core game. Purchased 84 season, started Cubs replay. Season ticket has really won me over. Yes, season ticket here. Again, I got my Clemens season go, but these cards, these cards, I think they're the best cards as far as PDFs. They're color coded. You can see everything. Everything is labeled. You don't have to guess at anything at all. All the stats are at the bottom. It's just everything is there. Everything's there on the card, and it's all spelled out for you. And you never have to guess it. There's a lot of cards that have like letters and numbers on them in certain areas of the card, and you just got to remember what they are. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Season ticket, I never have to wonder what his speed is, what his hold rating is, what his steal rating is. I never have to guess at that because it's all labeled. And that's one of the best things I think about season ticket is it's all labeled. And, you read the cards and most everything comes off the card. Sometimes I got to go to the instructions and look at the chart and remember what a bloop is with 2 outs and things like that. But for the most part, season ticket flows very well. And my 86 replay, it's coming along better than all the other ones and using season ticket. That's all I'm going to say. And I really enjoyed it, And Ray said he went to theater tonight with the family to see If. I don't know what If is. I'm not even sure if If's a movie or not. But we haven't been in a while. You know what was weird though? Now we hadn't been to the theater since 2018, and so we went to the local one here. It's a big name theater, and we went in the middle of the day, morning, 10, 11 o'clock, whenever the first showing was, first or second showing, and there was nobody there. You don't talk to a person to order your stuff anymore. You either get the app and order your popcorn and your drink, or you go to this big touch screen. And I'm looking around for somebody. I'm like, hey, I want to get a popcorn and a drink. And there's nobody there. Nobody there. And then you punch it in and you pay with your credit card and you get a little receipt with a number on it. And then someone comes out of the little room. Oh, here's your drink. Here's your popcorn. It was weird. It was weird because, you're used to going up and standing in line and the person's like, oh, what can I get you? And you talk to them like, hey, what's this and what's that? Nope. There was just one person there getting the order. No questions asked. You have to punch it in on the machine. It's like, ooh, very impersonal. Didn't like it. And yeah, how are the Cubs doing in your replay with season ticket? The 84 Cubs, how are they doing? And you saw the Rise of Skywalker. The last one in the theater for you. We went to a drive-in theater and saw, I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was the first or the second of the new ones that just come out in the drive-in. And it was tough to see in the drive-in. It was kind of a rainy night. And it was, trying to get it on the radio. There was 4 of us, and the people in the back couldn't really see it. So we went outside, and I think we had the dog with us. It just was, and it's not that clear to see on the screen. I think it was the first one actually, and I didn't like it, and I didn't like the drive-in setting for that. It's not, you don't go there to watch the movie, you go there to hang out, and I wanted to see the movie. I've since seen it on cable or whatever, 100 times on TBS, the Star Wars channel. And it was okay. Nothing beats the originals, but yeah. So that was 2019. Yeah, we went to the drive-in theater and saw one of them. That might have been 29. No, what was before that? Because the Rise of Skywalker, I think that was the last one, right? So we saw the first one, whatever the heck it was. Alan says they bought the perforated cardstock suggested on the season ticket site, and it works perfectly, better than my cutting skills. Well, yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that. The only thing that I found is I get the 110 paper, 110-pound paper in my color laser, and if I take the season ticket, as long as I don't hit the print to fit, if I just print actual size, it prints it and it's perfectly centered. If you can picture that. So what you do, if you cut it in thirds, the cards are perfectly centered on the thirds, and there's no lines, and then you just cut it in half. There's no lines in there. As long as you can find that little sweet spot on the third of that, the 11, which is kind of weird dividing 11 by 3, but I found a little nick, a little notch on my cutter, and that's where I slide the paper to, and it comes out just about perfect every time. And I can do them quick too, because once you get into the groove and you know where you're going on the cutter, you slide, then you cut all those in half, and there's one. Do it again. It's 3 cuts. 1, 2, 3. Well, 4 cuts, if you will. And it just goes so nice. It's like, oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I can so it's 1, 2, 3 cuts, and then 1, 2, 3. So it's actually 6. I think you get 6 on a page. So it's 6 cuts, but the other ones are just cutting them in half. But it goes so fast, so fast. I can print out the season ticket and cut those because you're not looking at the lines and trying to work around lines. There's no lines. It's perfect how it does it. So I use the regular 110 is what I do. And tomorrow hopefully will be a better day. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit better. Hopefully I won't have the little dizziness that I've been having. I've been concerned about my dizziness. I'm not gonna lie. And hopefully I can get to the gym and my shoulders will be feeling a little bit better tomorrow, and we'll have a better day. And we'll have a better day, I hope. Just the Cubs are off to an 8-3 start. He's also payoff pitch 69 season and playing 2024 status pro season. The Cubs at 19-34. Yeah, it's always fun following along. And Jess says, I agree about Star Wars. Nothing beats the originals. I wanted to see Wonder Woman 84. I saw it. I liked it. So glad you didn't see that one in the theater. Sometimes it's fun to see it in the theater, and sometimes I watch movies alone. Some, the wife will sometimes watch with me, but then it's always a distraction. Today when I was watching Godzilla, I really wasn't on the phone that much. I'm bored. I need to have 10 things going. So I'll be watching something and watching this and then reading a book at the same time. It's just what I do. And so, but I was kind of paying attention to the subtitles and watching the Godzilla and get the gist of it. And it was hilarious. I don't want to spoil it, but the plan to kill Godzilla was hysterical. It was hysterical. I won't give it away, but just when the guy drew up the plan, yeah, I actually started laughing. I was laughing to myself. I was like, oh my gosh, this is hysterical. This is how they're going to kill Godzilla. It's like, all right. Any volunteers? Not me. Oh. But yeah, it was all right. What else we got going on here in the chat room? 1 second. All right. Okay, so I guess we're on to talking movies now. Now that you guys have let me vent a little bit about being too aggravated to play, I'm actually feeling a little bit better now. I miss playing. Oh, I can't give it away though. I can't give it away. There's one of the baseball games I've played. I was talking to the guys that made it, and they have some Big news coming up with one of the games. I know I'm kind of being very vague and general here, but I am excited to get this game back on my table and back on my computer here. And what they've done has been fantastic. I'm not going to give it away. He did put up a video on YouTube, so it's no secret. But I've been chatting with him off to the side, and I says, "This is what we're going to need out of you." I said, "I like what you've done, but this is what we're all going to need. This is what everyone's going to ask you to do." And so when that comes out, we'll get that right here on the channel. So I'm excited about that because it's a game I liked and I haven't played in a long time. But I think this latest innovation with this game is going to be fantastic. I loved it, and I think you will too. And I can't wait to let the new releases out, the new videos out, and I can show it. Let me see. What's the best and worst movie you ever saw in a theater? Oh, well, the worst one, it was probably back in like 1995. And it wasn't, I think it was called Tales from the Hood or something like that. It was a spin-off of Tales from the Crypt, and we were in there with like 5 or 6 or 10 people in the theater. It wasn't that many people in there. And I think everybody walked out for the end of the movie. It really was. It was supposed to be a horror movie, but it didn't know if it wanted to be a horror movie or a comedy, and it didn't represent anything like Tales from the Crypt or anything. So we walked out of that. In fact, everybody did. I think we were one of the last people in there, and the guy next to us goes, "Well, that's about it for me." And I was like, "Yeah, us too." So I think by the time that movie ended, there was nobody left. So that's one of the worst ones I saw. I think it was Tales from the Hood from like '95. Just maybe if I saw it now, I'd like it. But back in the day in the theater, we were like, okay, let's just go out and do something different. And there was another one. A friend of mine actually made a movie. I won't say what it is, but he made a movie. So we invited everybody to go. So a bunch of us went, and it was a lot of prison sex. And half the theater got up and walked out like 30 minutes into it. We stayed because it was our friend, but holy cow, like my wife left and my sister-in-law left. I mean, everybody just left, like get up in like one swoop. It's like, and there he is sitting on the bottom and watching everybody walk out of his movie. I'm like, so I went up to say, yeah, dude, the prison sex didn't need to happen. You had an interesting movie and the whole bit, but that didn't need to happen. I said, and so I said that's another bad one. The best one in the theater, it's hard to say. There's so many good ones. Oh, you saw Time Machine 2002? You thought that was the worst one? I always liked the Time Machine ones, and you thought Ghostbusters was good. Time Machine, I thought I liked the Time Machine. I like all the Time Machines actually. Those were good movies there. I'm trying to think that the best one in the theater. Well, I did see Jaws and I did see Star Wars in the theater back in the 70s. Jaws scared the crap out of me. It still does. Still does. I'm one of those that won't go to the beach and go in the water anymore. I don't even like going on boats. Yeah. No, that I was at the right age for that to scar me for life. It just did. Sorry, it did. In fact, when we went to Universal Studios on the Jaws ride, I had a hard time on the Jaws ride. Knowing everything was fake, I still had a hard time. Just kind of how it was. I'm trying to think of the best movie. Jaws was good. Star Wars was good. I'm trying to think like the best movie. War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise was decent, I thought. I saw that in the theater. I saw the all the what's the werewolf vampire movies? They were good too. The Lycans and there's a whole series of them. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them now. And I forget the girl that starred in it with the black hair and the leather. She was all dressed in leather. She was one of the vampires there. That was a good series. We saw a few of those in the theater. Those are pretty good. But there's not one. Underworld. Yes, Underworld. Yeah, Jeff, thanks. That was Underworld. The Underworld movies were good. I really liked them. I remember seeing the second one in the theater, and that was pretty decent. But is there one that stands out that I was like, man, that's one I go back and see again? Not really. I think the only Did I see Star Wars twice in the theater? I'm not sure if we saw Star Wars in the theater twice or not. I know we saw it once. Obviously, as kids. Um. Oh, you know what? You know what I think might be the best one for me. And I went by myself one day, and it was Rockstar, 2001 with Mark Wahlberg. That might be one of the best movies I've seen in the theater, just because it was all about music and heavy metal, and that was right up my alley. So Rockstar was great, 2001. I think I might have seen that one twice in the theater. I'm not sure. And the other one I liked was Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. In fact, they changed that. I saw it twice in the theater. I really liked it, and I think I bought the movie, so I have it. And when that comes on, when there's a couple of scenes they got rid of in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm like, wow, they cut that one out, really? But that's what they do now. They have to cut things out of movies. you know. Yes, Kate Beckinsale. Yes, she was in the Underworld movie. She was really good. I like the Underworld. That was on the other day. I was watching it. Those were great. The vampires and the lichens. That was a nice little story there. But anyway, so all right. So what am I going to play this week? So I got a couple of choices here. I want to pull out my 75 Apple football season because I want to get me some Len Dawson going here. I'm just going to kind of play a game. It's not going to be any big products here, but I bought that specifically to play some teams. That's really the first football season that I remember following. And I'm going to play that Super Bowl because that's the first Super Bowl I remember. So definitely going to play that 75 Super Bowl. Give me some Len Dawson games. Some Patriots with Jim Plunkett because I think that was his last season. So Plunkett played. Then he turned over the reins to Grogan. So I'm going to play some of that. It's just playing some guys from my childhood there. Probably not going to play anything huge with 75 like I am with 78. But I'm enjoying the Apple football. Even that Detroit Tampa game, which was terrible, that was still kind of fun. Alan, I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to give it away here on the channel. But you may be right. You may be right. Yeah, thanks for coming by. I'm hoping I'm feeling better too. This is calming down. The root beer and having the fan on. I'm downstairs. It's a little cooler out. Got my dog over here. What are you doing, dummy? He's sleeping over here. He's doing something over here. It was too hot for him today. I put on my shoes to go for a walk. He's like, "Oh, we're going for a walk." He's like, "No, not you. I can't put shoes on you to keep your feet from getting burned on the hot cement out there." So no, he didn't go. But I am enjoying the basketball games I got. And again, I'm a very, very just casual basketball fan. My basketball window is about this big. Most of it consists of Larry Bird. But I do like, the matchups they used to have with, the Lakers and the 76ers and all those teams are so good. In fact, I remember one of the series, was it 80? Must have been 86 series. And I used to belong to a gym. And they were pumping the radio into the gym while we were playing basketball. So we were playing basketball while listening to the game. That was kind of cool, I thought. Having Johnny Most on, Bird doing a DJ, that was great. Listening to basketball while shooting some baskets. That was a fun time. I remember doing that. I'm not sure they probably had a TV there, but we were young and just let's just shoot some baskets. We're basketball fans today, so I've been enjoying my basketball. I pulled out the regular season. Basketball's over here. I pulled out that so I can stop playing that again. I like the regular season basketball. That was really kind of fun. And because I don't know the basketball strategy, so I can't. I want to play the bank shot basketball, and I guess you don't need to know a lot of the strategy there either. Just kind of follow along like APA. But I think you got to lay out all the cards. It's like a big thing you got to lay out here on the table. I don't know if it would fit, but I think the next sale I might pick it up. I might. The other thing, though, is I don't know enough about the fouls. And Ron explained it to me, and I wrote it down, and I got a cheat sheet somewhere. But as far as, when the foul, when do you shoot, when you don't shoot, that I don't know all that stuff about basketball, and I'd have to learn that. And I have Inside the Paint for Inside Sports, and I like that on the PC because it's a lot like Inside the Crease. I just don't know enough about the positions and who's covering who and what's going on. So for me, it's like soccer. I don't know anything about soccer either, so that's why I don't play it as much. So it really takes a special basketball game for me to be into it. And somebody said pretty good. The regular season, the play of the game, the hoops PC is really fun. I really enjoyed it. Jimmy B coming by. Thanks for coming by, Jimmy B. And yeah, I'm kind of hoping I'm gonna have a good doctor's appointment too, and things will be better. It's gonna be a miserable week for me. I can tell. It's gonna be hot and just it's gonna be miserable. But we'll try to play something here. I should have been on tonight. I said I'm gonna come on tonight and play something. And I didn't want to be aggravated and play. And then especially if I was gonna try to chat with you guys and just be aggravated. Oh, I did play. You know what I did play the other day that was kind of fun. I pulled out the VSU football. That's Chris White's football game. It's a quick play football game, and I played the entire 76 playoffs. And that game, you have your teams, and it tells you how many dice to roll, and then what to subtract for the defense. And it's kind of neat. So you roll like 6 dice for this team and 5 dice for this team. You add them up. Those are your points. And then you subtract the other guy's defense. And I think you add 3 to the home team for the home field advantage. And that's your final score. And it plays in just a couple of minutes. And I just played the whole playoffs. And it turns out the Rams actually won the Super Bowl. The Rams beat the Vikings, and the Rams beat Washington, the Vikings, and then beat the Steelers in 76 Super Bowl. So that was kind of neat. The Rams, I think it was like a 1-point game too, like 17-16 or something like that. Or it was a close game that they won in the Super Bowl. So that was kind of fun. Sometimes you're just in the mood for a quick play game and you want to play the playoffs, and boom, I banged that out with VSU football. That was kind of fun. This basketball game's fun too. Just a lot more dice rolling. And I did set it up on Excel to split it up into the quarters. So you could do that and have some fun with it there. But it's a lot of dice rolling in that. I think I had ball roller set up, and I think I maxed it out with how many dice you can put in the ball roller and hit it and then try to add them all up. I was trying to do it on my phone, or there's a Steam game. It's like a dice game that supposedly you can add as many dice as you want and click on it and it adds it up. That would have been perfect, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to add a dice. I couldn't figure out how to roll the dice. And it's supposed to be one of the best dice rollers out there, but I couldn't figure out how to add a die. I couldn't figure out how to roll a die. I couldn't figure out anything. And it's got all these expansions on it too, like additions to the game you can add. I'm like, well, if I can't play the basic game, I'm certainly going to do anything else. And the videos don't show you how to do it. There's a couple of videos. Here's what the game does. It rolls dice, and that's great. Show me how to do it because I can't figure it out. And it's too bad. I would love to have that on the screen and rolling different dice for different games and stuff like that. But sadly, I couldn't figure it out. And a good thing I didn't, because I didn't want to give it a bad review. I just couldn't figure it out. I clicked on some things and I tried it for 5 or 10 minutes. It's like, well, I've been at this 5 or 10 minutes. I can't figure out how to add dice and how to roll them. I kept clicking and things kept spinning, but what can you do? Right? What can you do? But that was a fun one there. What else have I been playing here? Like I said, I played a little bit of Payoff Pitch the other day, and I'm still working on the running system. We had a whole discussion about running, right? And so I'm working on that. That's getting a little bit better. I tried one other little wrinkle, with the 2 outs, and I like to have the tough mean something for the pitcher, and I like to have the wheelhouse mean something for the batter. So it's like it goes from really good for the pitcher to really good for the batter, and then everything else is kind of in the middle. And that's kind of how that game works for me. I know a lot of people that say flip the fast action, got to be done with it, and you could, and it would work out in the end. But for me, it just, you have the tough, you have the wheelhouse, and you have runners with speed, and I think that really should come into play because you have them all there. Anyway, Dwayne comes by. I saw Dwayne was playing some. I think he was playing some Appa tonight. He's a big Appa guy. Like I said, he's got the. What were you playing? You were playing this. Was it 60? I forget what Dwayne was playing. He was playing like a 60s baseball somewhere. Was it 60, 61, or 60 or 61 you were playing? You were playing one of those 60s seasons. I was kind of following along a little bit. That was before my time, but there's some names I still recognize. What's kind of funny is I have the All right, so I was looking up some old football season, and it's funny how some of the guys that I grew up watching were playing long before I remember it. That's the thing it's not even baseball. It's like some of the Red Sox were playing before I was born. And I was watching these guys play in their prime. And I was like, man, these guys were playing before I was born. That's wild that they played that long. Yeah, and he was playing APA pre 1961 bats. Now, what does that actually mean right now? Pre 1961 bats. I know APA, but I don't know what that other stuff means. I just play the APA basic right now. So I've seen that they have some things like that, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what the bats thing is and the pre 61 things in there. How is that different from regular APA? I guess that would be my question. And Jess probably left, but he said he saw Bohemian Rhapsody in a theater. Yeah, I think my wife watched that on whenever it come out on HBO or something like that. She was having a good time with that. So yeah, I need to get back to my 78 Red Sox and APA. I almost pulled out Strat Basic Baseball the other day for my 79 season. I need to be wrapping that up. That's getting closer. I think I'm in the middle of September now. I really only have one race, and that's in the American League East. The National League has been decided. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are just destroying people. So they're going to meet in the playoffs. I've already got them printed out in season tickets, so I'll have that. And I have them in payoff pitch. So I think what I'm going to do when I get to the playoffs, each series, I'm going to play with one game. So in other words, I'll take so when Cincinnati plays Pittsburgh, I'll play them in season ticket. Then the American League, I'll play them in payoff pitch, and then I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do for the finals or whatever. All right, so Dwayne says that it's a set of best players in the original 16 teams before the 61 expansion. Okay, so it's a set of best players on the original 16 teams. Okay, so that's what that means. I just like to play the seasons as it is, and especially the 70s season. That's what I grew up with. That's why I have 78, 79, 80. Those are my three main seasons, and that's what I bought. And Mike says Bats is baseball all-time stars. Okay, that would make sense. Baseball all-time stars. Okay. I tried to do that with something. It was like the best of. It's like the best versus the best. It's kind of weird because everyone's rated so high. I tried that with hockey one time, like an all-star game, and it was really weird because it was just, the best forwards against the best D against the best goalie, and when I like when I play a season and you got some guys that aren't that good, and sometimes they make the play against the better guys, and sometimes they don't. But it's just always weird seeing like the best go head to head. I suppose it's kind of fun to kind of decide who the better guy or the better team was. But I just found that I do like playing my regular season. For me, it's kind of a mental block because when I play teams in the same season, it to me it's like they're all rated the same. We're on the same level when we play. Whereas if I play a 70 team and then a 90s team and they're rated, I don't know if how that's gonna work. Supposedly they're supposed to be able to play the same and work out for you, but it's a little to me it's a mental block that says if I play 1970 football team and like a 2000 football team or a modern day football team, you know, it's not going to work. It's two different kinds of football. And baseball might be the one that works because baseball really hasn't changed. Hockey, the skill level of hockey is ridiculous. The equipment is ridiculous. Football, the skill is ridiculous. Baseball, though, it's still the pitching and the hitting mechanic, and that really hasn't changed. And I don't know if they've made bats better, or obviously the gloves are a little bit better, but I mean it's not like the catcher. It doesn't matter what the catcher wears, compared to the goalie, because he's not stopping a goal; he's just catching the ball. So it's a little bit different. So baseball, I think, would be the one you could do that with. Trouble is, there are no bad pitchers. Yeah, and Dwayne says some of these best guys aren't that great in comparison. Got guys that are batting under 300 compared to the guys that are hitting close to 400. Yeah, but you're still kind of the top of the chart there. The best of the best is still what you're playing. And I'm not the problem. I'm saying it's a problem, but I'm saying for me, it's like I always like to have my good and my bad guys. You know what I mean? I like to play the bad teams or things like that. To me, I just find like the teams in that same season, just you're gonna get a fairer game. To me, that's just kind of my mindset. But I've seen players play the greatest of, and it's been fun watching them. When you see only the best guys, like shootout hockey, you can get the best of. There's teams that have the best of, and it is kind of neat seeing guys from different eras. Gordie Howe and Steve Yzerman, on the same team, stuff like that. Just as an example, so it is kind of fun seeing that. But Todd comes by, and Todd says, I'm in a Strat Hall of Fame league. It's hard to steal and stuff because you have the best catches with the best arms. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going with that. It's just you want to play mediocre guys and bottom guys sometimes, And that way there, if you got your all-star runner on against an all-star catcher, it's fun, but sometimes it's good just to have a mediocre catcher back there. Like who's catching this game? There was a game I played, I don't know, a season ticket or payoff pitch I was playing in, and the catcher wasn't that good. And so I was stealing on them all the time because they had the guy that's not normally their starting catcher. And I was like, okay, we're gonna run. We're gonna run all day. And we did. And it was kind of fun. But I can see how best against best somehow it might be kind of frustrating at times because again it's everyone at the top level is what it is. So I enjoy I just enjoy regular, like the replay gamer always says, I like playing regular season teams, teams within the season for the season replay. And I kind of do too. Oh, there was a big sale on what tech site was it? It was a hockey. I got an email from some hockey site, and I'll see if I can dig out that site. Hang on one second here. They're having a sale this weekend on all these minor league hockey teams. It was really kind of cool. It was vintageicehockey.com. Vintageicehockey.com. Somehow I must have bought something from because I'm on their email list, and they're like, hey, we're having a sale. And you're never too sure about these places. But I went there. I was like, okay, I think I've been here before. And they had some WHA and some AHL teams. And I'm not going to tell you which ones I got, but I picked up some T-shirts that were on sale like for $20 and $22 or something like that, down from $30 and $35. And I was like, okay, I'll get a couple of T-shirts. So I got one that the replay game is going to like. So we'll see. I like to pick up those on sale. Like these hats, I got these for like $4 or $5 on sale. So when these places have sales on T-shirts and hats, I like to get them, and then I can wear them when I play the team here on the channel. I like to do that. Magic Wizard coming by. Never caught me live before. Here I am. Thanks for all you do for the hobby. Hockey Bones player here from the UK. Great. We were just talking about Hockey Bones a little bit earlier. I like to play Hockey Bones, especially when it's a one-off for like a guy that played 1 or 2 games. That is the best thing about Hockey Bones. I mean, the game is fun. Don't get me wrong, the game is fun. But the idea that they have goalies that play 1 game in there, skaters that played 1 game in there. You can do an as played with Hockey Bones. That's great about Hockey Bones. And the game is fine too. And I still have my Worcester Ice Cat reunion game coming up because I have a season. I don't know if it's 95, 96, and 96, 97, but it has the 2 goalies who originally played for the Worcester Ice Cats in their inaugural year, 94, 95. One of them's with the Canadians, and one of them's with the Oilers, I think it is. And they each played 1 or 2 games, and they're carded. So we're going to have the Canadians and the Oilers play, and those will be my goalies, the goalies from the original Worcester Ice Cats. And it's a game that they did not really play against each other. It's going to be a completely fictitious game, but I'm going to get them on the table with Hockey Bones, and I'm excited about having my Worcester Ice Cat reunion game. In fact, a little story here. One of the goalies, his son is playing junior hockey now here in New England, and I've broadcasted a couple of his games, and I talked to him. And I told him, I says, I was a fan of your dad in Worcester, and I have his jersey hanging in my house. Tell him I said hi. and this kid plays goalie. Plays goalie, so it's kind of neat. So that's the great thing about Hockey Bones, is that, and the idea that everything's off the cards. There's one page it's not even a chart page really. It's just kind of helps you with penalties, and it's a little cheat sheet for face-offs and stuff. But for the most part, everything's off the cards in Hockey Bones. I do like that. But thanks for coming by. DJ, have I tried Quick Dex Hockey or Glory Days Football? I have Glory Days Football. He sent me a couple of teams for that, and Ron and I were trying to figure that out. And it's a busy game, and he kind of put that on hold for a bit because it was real confusing. And in fact, I read the instructions and I was kind of lost. So we were supposed to sit down and try to figure it out, Ron and I, but he's kind of, I don't know if he's redoing it. He's trying to figure something out because a lot of people had a problem with it. It just was whatever it was. It was tough. So I have it, and I read it, and I tried to figure it out, and I didn't get very far. So we're holding off on that. And the Quick Dex Hockey, no. I got to get back with Grant on that. He was supposed to send that to me with a couple of teams so I could try it. And he said he's just been busy, with that, and he's going back to the football game a little bit. His football game is really fun. I need to get that back on the channel. His football game is fun. Busy game, but I managed to follow it along, and I had some fun with that. I really did. So that's what's going to come back here on the channel at some point. I will play that hockey game. I know people are raving about it. I'm like, Grant, give me that game, will you? Because he said I'll send it to you so you can try it out, play it on the channel, and he's just been too busy. Using Shootout Hockey, I created the season's all-star teams using the best two teams from that specific season set, and watching on YouTube for lineups just to watch all my favorites. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so I see you grabbed players from all the different teams. That would be kind of interesting to do. I wonder if he would do that. I wonder if John could put together an all-star game card, like the East-West. That'd be kind of fun, actually, in Shootout, is to have like the East-West 71 all-star game and have all the guys on there. That would be kind of fun to see. I do like the hockey all-star games because it is kind of silly fun. But that's a pretty good idea, Raymond, is creating stuff like that. I tried to create something in Shootout Hockey, and I was terrible with it. I don't know the formula. I was just guessing, and it probably didn't come out very well. And Magic Wizard, what's your go-to game for a season or postseason? Well, it changes all the time. Shootout Hockey was my go-to game, and 70-71 was kind of my go-to season. So that for the longest time, I enjoyed my Shootout Hockey, any season of Shootout Hockey. And if I had a choice, 70-71 or 74-75, those are my couple of my favorite seasons in hockey. However, I've been playing a ton of baseball games, and it depends what I'm in the mood for. APA baseball is fast and quick. Basic mode, Strat Basic is fast and quick. The season ticket I really like. The payoff pitch I really like. Pocket pennant run I really like. Any other games over here that I have? I have a lot of fun baseball games. None of them I would consider to be go-to games, but the app of football, that is probably my go-to game right now. Something in my eye here. That is just so fun. Apple football. I don't know what it is about that game, and I got a handful of seasons. So now I have 78, which is one of my favorite seasons, but also 76. Those Buccaneers, playing that season. Patriots were kind of good that season as well. So for me, probably Apple football would be my go-to game right now, and either a game from 76 or 78 for that. Now I do have 2001, and I did play a couple games of that already for Apple football. I want to replay that Super Bowl, Patriots and Rams. I have no doubt the Rams will win that. But I did play the Raiders and the Patriots, and the Raiders won. So they won. But what was great about that, and why Apple football is my go-to game, I would have to say. So I'm playing the Raiders and the Patriots, which is that tuck rule game in the snow from 2001 or 2000, whatever it was. And Raiders are winning by a touchdown. Time running out. New England's driving. Tom Brady has the ball. 4th and goal from the 4. 19 seconds left. This is it. They need a touchdown to tie and an extra point. And Brady goes back to pass. I had to go short pass. I need to get those 4 yards, get in the end zone. No timeouts. 4th down anyway. It's 4th and goal. It's do or die. And I get the scramble rating. Oh, great. So I roll on the scramble chart, and it's a fumble. So I'm thinking that's it. Game's over. So I roll on the fumble chart, and it says Brady ran 5 yards and then fumbled. Well, according to the rules of APA, if you run into the end zone, that's it. So as soon as he ran 4 yards, he crossed the goal line. So Tom Brady scrambled for a touchdown on basically what was the last play of the game. And then they tied it and went to overtime. And then in overtime, Oakland actually won. Janikowski hit the field goal. So Oakland actually won. So I'll have Oakland play St. Louis, too, in the Super Bowl. But I do have 2001. I don't get too much more modern than that, but I do have 2001 for that. So APA football, just a long answer to the question, is probably my go-to game with either 76 or 78. But I have I don't know, like 4 or 5 seasons with that. Some I traded for, which are great. So then I didn't have to pay full price for them. Just swapped it out. And yeah, that's my fun one right now. But the great thing, and we talked about this on the show, and I've talked this about in my chat, there's so many fun games out there. I'm just getting back into some basketball games. Some I haven't played in years. Some are brand new to me. I've never played. So that's what makes it kind of fun. And anytime I could pull out the hockey bones. That's right behind me here. So that little, between the Celtics and the Sharks, that's an APA chart right there. And behind that are all my hockey bones. So I have everything kind of labeled here since I redid the basement. I have things in, I can get at things a little bit better now because they're a little bit more spread out. I bought a whole new plastic, filing cabinet to put all my payoff pitch seasons in because I ordered a couple on the last sale. And I'll probably get some more play of the game from Downey on their next sale, which might be the summer. Either that or it's Black Friday, one of the two. I still got one game over here. Is it still there? Yeah, it's still there. I haven't unboxed from the last Black Friday. Maybe what I should do is unbox it this Black Friday. That would be hilarious. Like a 1-year delayed opening. It's a game that I saw this game and it's like it'd be kind of fun, but they haven't done anything with it. They haven't really added any seasons, so I think it was like an experiment. Hey, let's try this out, see how this works. But the company hasn't done much with this game. I'm not gonna say what game it is, but if they started like pumping out seasons, then I would rip it open right now and start playing it and see if I liked it, and then grab some seasons for it. But so far, I don't think they've done much with it. So I don't know what the response has been with this particular game. So that's why I'm kind of not in any hurry to open that up. It wasn't that expensive. It had a huge sale, so I picked it up. And it's like, when I get to it, I get to it. All right, so there goes that root beer. But that root beer is really good. That zero sugar stuff. I know it's terrible for you, but it is really good. And Tim says, yeah, that's a show. How to organize your card and games collection. I used to have stuff everywhere, like everybody does. And then I start going along and it's like, I need to be able to know where everything is. So I have, all the APA stuff over here. I bought boxes and put a lot of my Downey games over here in boxes. I have a little plastic file cabinet here for some of my PDF games. Kind of behind me over here. Maybe we can see that. Yeah, that little gray cabinet there. That's fairly new. You just find them at Staples or whatever on sale. And so I have some things in there. And then right around the corner from that, that's where I put all my payoff pitch stuff in. And then I got a cabinet over there for some of my strat and some of my APA football over there. But this is all my APA hockey and football baseball over here. But yeah, that could be a whole show. Just don't watch Tebow. Tebow's all over the place. I love Tebow. And he's got like 1 million seasons, but they're all mixed up. And nothing's sorted. he did a video one time. He had his phone. He walked around his place. He's just like, oh, here's like, Apple baseball 1960, and I got football from 1980, and then I got a hockey from 2015, and then over here I got Strat mixed in with some Apple baseball. Then over here I got it was just all mixed up. It was driving my OCD was going nuts. I had to turn it off because I was like, I can't take this anymore. I needed to be somewhat organized. All my stuff over here, all my Apple seasons here, they're all organized by season. I had Chris White print out the envelopes so they look nice, so I can go over, see what I got. I know where it is. I like this one to get at stuff. But yeah, organizing cards and dice games would be a fun little thing to do. But it just takes up space, so that's what kind of stinks about that. So I've had to buy a couple of cabinets. But when we had the flood here and I cleaned out, I got rid of a lot of things around here, so it's a little bit better down here now, so I can walk around and get at things. I still would like everything right here, but I can't really get at everything right here. So anyway, but all right. So before I sign off, so what are you guys going to be playing this week, or what are you playing tonight? Let me know so we can talk about that for a minute before I go. I just want to come on tonight and just ask you guys, do you play if you're aggravated? And boy, that thumbnail, was that John? I said, John, where do you get your thumbnails? And he says, I go to Bing. So I went to Bing and I tried out their thumbnail maker, and it came out pretty good. It does a lot better job actually than the Photoshop that I use. So I want to thank him for pointing out how to go and make a nice new thumbnail there. And that was kind of neat. He said, put an aggravated guy throwing dice at a player in a Boston Red Sox jersey on a volcano. Come out pretty good. I was pretty happy with it, So thanks for that, John. Thanks for pointing that out. But what else do I have over here? I have look at more hockey bones over here. That's weird. Why would I have hockey bones over here? Oh, it's because I think I was. Oh, the other thing I like to play too. I haven't cut these up yet. These are 86, 87 Hockey Blast. A couple of teams I printed out. I don't know why I haven't cut them yet, but I haven't cut them out yet. That's another game that I enjoy playing. I need to get back on the channel. It's a very different game, but it's fun for it. You can play it fairly quick, half hour, 45 minutes, and it feels like a hockey game there. It doesn't give you quite all the stats the way that you would like it from some other games, but it's still a fun game to play. I do enjoy that. And Stone Cold Hockey is another good one. I really like that. I need to play. Someone was playing that the other day, and I was jealous. I need to play the Stone Cold Hockey again on the tabletop. I think I have that right here to my left. If I pulled that out, I'd probably have that right there as well. So Stone Cold is really fun. So many fun games we play. And that's the great thing about this hobby is how many games we play. So I'm going to jump out here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in as we just kind of had a little chat here on Sunday night. Ron and I were supposed to record Saturday, but Saturday I had a busy day, and then today I wasn't feeling good. He was out all day. So we still owe you guys a Digital Today's podcast coming up very soon. So hopefully we'll jump on that Monday or Tuesday, and we'll get that out for you. So if you have any suggestions on what you'd like us to talk about, let me know either with an email, a text, or a comment here on the video, and we'll see what we can do on that. We have a couple ideas what we're going to chat about, but always open to suggestions to see what's going on in the community. Mike says, I'm playing 66 APA football at the All-Star break in my Action PC 69 baseball, and starting September in my 64 baseball for Windows, I think that is. So he's playing APA football 66. What's your favorite team in 66, Mike? You're playing the APA football. I'm interested to see what your favorite team in 66 is. That's a little bit before me. Again, 75 is that's why I picked up 75. That's kind of like my bottom. I don't say bottom of the window. I don't mean in a bad way, but like if I have my window, 75 is where I start my window, and then it goes up to 2004 or 5. And then after that, I kind of lost touch with that. And the Patriots got a few more Super Bowls in the teens, but those Brady Manning matchups were classics in the early 2000s. I really like those. I wish they would. I almost got 2005 or 2006 for Apple football. I would definitely get 04. there was some great matchups. And I know New England won the Super Bowl that year, so that would be a fun one to play. But those Brady Manning matchups were so good back then. They really were. And Mike says Packers, and he's trying to get the fledgling Falcons win more than 3. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know the Falcons were playing that far back. Like I say, my knowledge of football before like 1970 is very limited. And Joshua says he replayed the 1971 Bruins Habs quarterfinals with Hockey Bones earlier, and he's getting set up to do some kind of round robin with all the playoff teams, or maybe all 14 teams. Interesting. Joshua, I just started to do that actually. I was always a one-off guy, a playoff guy, or a full season guy. I was never one to play a tournament, so to speak. Because it's, I try to follow along like on Facebook and Delphi. And like, hey, I'm going to play this tournament. I'm going to take these 6 teams, and we're all going to play each other 3 times. And it's like, well, that's neat, but it's not playoffs, and it's not a full season, and it's very specific to you. And so I have a hard time following some of those because there's so many of them. Like, it's easy to follow playoffs because we all kind of watched them. We kind of knew who's starting the playoffs. The one-offs are easy too. And the regular seasons, well, they're harder to follow, but if you stay true to that, it makes sense. But when you just kind of something and you're like, well, I'm just going to play all these teams and have a tournament out. And those, I find that I was like, I don't know about that. But I started to do that with Play of the Game basketball, where I took each division and I'm having playoffs in each division, like a single wild card game, and then a best out of 3 to win the division. And I've been doing that with Play of the Game basketball because it plays, like I say, in 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes tops. And I've been enjoying the tournament mode or my own little creation. And I've never really thought I would do that because I was always a season guy, playoffs or regular season. But when I said I'm going to take this division and we're going to play the seeds out and see who comes out of that division. And then they'll go on to play this other division and then the other 2. And so we'll kind of have it that way. And I never thought I'd do something like that, but I'm having some fun with that because I'm going to play every team at least once. Even the bad teams will get a game. And that's the big thing, is playing everybody. But then you're going to have some sort of a champion, and it's not going to take a year to do it. You could realistically do this project here and Play the Game basketball. I could realistically do it maybe even in a weekend if I wanted to. If I wasn't so aggravated, I could really do it in a weekend because the games take 5 minutes. A couple of them are just singles. The best of 3 shouldn't take long because once you set up, if you just keep the same lineups, you're ready to go. And just play it out and have some fun. I could do it regular season basketball in basic mode too. And I was thinking about doing that actually in basic mode with regular season basketball. And but I talked about this on the show, and I talked about this with Ron, and maybe in one of my chats, that I'm really starting to open up how I want to play because I would, this tournament that I'm doing and not with Play the Game basketball, I'm going to play every team at least once. And I think that's kind of fun. Now, and that'll justify it. So if I took one of my Apple hockey things over here and did the same thing and just play one game with everybody and just had a little tournament, you're playing the teams. So now it's like, hey, I feel better that I played every team in the season. I feel like I've justified my purchase and things like that. So I am really now open to this whole tournament idea, whether it's just taking the playoff teams or playing everybody or mixing up. What I always wanted to do is, when I was going to play a hockey replay, is take a season, whatever season it was, and it's 1 to 16 for the playoffs. 1 to 16. And, none of this Adams division, so, I mean, in the 90s, the Bruins would play Buffalo, Quebec, in Montreal like 37 times. And then you play them in the playoffs. So every year it's like, who are we going to play? Because we're going to finish second behind Montreal. So who are we going to play? We're going to play Buffalo or we're going to play Hartford. And we would play, 82 games just to determine if we were playing Buffalo or Hartford. And so I always liked the 1 to 16 because you could get Rangers Canadians in the finals. You could get Bruins Canadians in the finals. I think that's the way to go, is to have a very even season and 1-16. And so anytime I was going to play a playoff scenario, so I was going to go 1-16 and just get whatever matchup you wanted to. That's my goal, is to do that with my hockey replays. And I might do that, is to go and, maybe that'd be something to do with Stone Cold or something on the PC, because that plays really quick. It's just do a 1-16, and that's what it is. And let's see who the finals are going to be. That could be really kind of fun. But I've really been opening myself up to these alternate playoffs, alternate tournaments, and getting away from the standard one-off playoffs or full season. And condensing something down to a manageable. That's the other thing. It's manageable with time. So you play everybody. It's manageable with time, and you're still going to have some fun with it. And so getting back to Mike, he says 66 was the first season for the Falcons, and he should have known the franchise was doomed. First game they released, the Falcon was supposed to come back, and he never came back. Yeah. And Josh says he's glad I'm enjoying that. Full replay, single games, playoff race, and creative round robins all have their place. Yes, they do. And Joshua says he plays Hockey Bones very slowly. I do a little bit too. It all depends. I want to get it right. So I'm even with Apple, when I know Apple like the back of my hand, I still always check just to make sure, so I don't screw anything up. Hockey Bones requires a little bit more thought. I find that when I play Hockey Bones, I can play a period, then I need to take a break, because I'm looking at the little symbols on the cards and doing all the quick math in my head. I get tired. I get mentally tired after a period of Hockey Bones, where it's app where I can kind of fly through a game pretty much without the headache. I still enjoy the Hockey Bones, but just it's a thinking man's game. And Gary comes by. He goes, I just finished my last 3-game series in season ticket, so I've used each team to start the season. Nice. Now, how are you going to do that? Are you going to play everybody, or you just kind of wanted to get everybody's 3-game series in? And what year you're playing, Gary, too? Let me know what year you're playing, because I was doing that. What game was I playing? I said, I'm going to play every game. I was like, no, I can't. There's no way I'll play every game. It'll take me 20 years to play every game. Considering I bounce around so much, and I wouldn't be focused in on that one season like that. I just like to play different seasons and different things and bounce around. But I am trying to get the whole 78 football season in app. But that's going to be ridiculously long. But I got 1 week down, and I played 1 or 2 games from week 2. So I'll chip away at that, and I'm in no hurry with that, because every time I play Apple football, it's just so enjoyable. But part of me would like it to be part of a bigger project, because I played so many one-offs, and I have fun with my one-offs, but I would like it to be part of something a little bit bigger. The season ticket, that's why I'm kind of doing the Clemens games only in the 86 with season ticket, because that way it's manageable. It's what's it, like 30 games or something he played or something like that. And so I can, play a game in, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, depending how difficult the game gets. And that's a manageable project. I think it is. But to play every game, he's okay. Here he is. He's playing 2001 Mariners. Figured I would use each team, have a plan for the last 75 games. There you go. And that's fun. I think that's kind of cool. You play every team at least once. Get them on the table. Use the cards. Have some fun with the cards. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. And I think that's what I'm enjoying about this player of the game basketball tournament that I'm doing, is I'm getting everybody on the table at least once. And I'll see everybody, and everybody will have a chance. Even the Seattle Supersonics. I used to like the Seattle Supersonics. I don't know why, but I like the Seattle Supersonics. And they don't exist anymore, I don't think. So I played them. They lost. They were one and done. They got crushed, actually. But it still was fun getting the Supersonics on the table. It was kind of fun. So maybe I need to do that in regular season basketball. It plays a little bit quicker than player of the game basketball. How you do that? Because in play of the game, you kind of figure out the lineups. I guess you don't have to figure out the lineups, because you're still rolling. You're still rolling the same amount of dice, no matter who's in the game. I think it comes down to, what's it? Defense. You might subtract points. I think defense you subtract points from. And I don't use the game pace to subtract any other rolls or anything. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I think it's a fun little project to do. Is just take each division and play it out and have a winner for each division, which is something completely against what I said with the 1 to 16 for hockey. But just to play a wild card game and just play it out, just to get a game on my table, I think could be kind of fun. Dwayne says he has to admit he loves his big products. I'm mixing mine up. I have my 78 Red Sox. I'm going to play every game in APA. I hope to finish that, at some point. And like I said, I'm 10 or 15 games in, and I've had my ups and downs. It's been kind of fun, but that's kind of just one I pull out and play offline. Maybe I'll play online once in a while, but I just kind of play it and get it done, and then Digital Diamond will do the rest of it for me. But that's what I wanted to do. The 78 Sox. Again, 78's my year, I guess. 78 football, 78 baseball. Hockey, I like a little earlier. I like my Orr stuff. I really do. The late 70s hockey was like, Bruins got to the finals a couple times. That Montreal just crushed them every time. And then the Islanders took over. That was fun. Well, we got the Oilers and the Panthers in the finals. And we got the Celtics and what is it? The Mavericks they're playing. So we should have some good finals coming up here. We really should. I'll probably start watching some of them. I don't think I'll get the cards now. I was hoping for Rangers Edmonton. I really was. That would have been a fun series there. But Florida, not a big Florida fan. So anyway. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to jump out here. It was fun chatting with you guys. Thanks for letting me vent here. And again, let me know. Do you ever get too aggravated to play? It's just, do you have a bad day and things going on? You're just like, I don't want to play, because my thing is I enjoy what I do when I play these games, whether it's cards and dice or whether it's PC. I really enjoy it. And if I'm in a bad mood coming in, I don't want to wreck the game. I don't want to play a game and be mad at the game because I'm in a bad mood. Even though the game might calm me down and it might turn the frown upside down, I'm just afraid that I'm going to come in with an attitude and it's not going to go well. So that's my thinking behind being too aggravated to play. Today was a hot day. It was an aggravating day. Maybe now I could play. Now it's 12:30 at night. It's cool, but now it's too late to play. So, but anyway, thanks for listening tonight, folks. And I'd like to know what you guys have to say on that. And you guys keep playing, and we will talk soon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dave. Bye-bye.